Hi, everyone. My name is Shania Siren. I'm one of the Career and Fellowship Advisors for the Center for Life Beyond Read. Today, we are going to talk through the first steps of applying to the Fulbright. If you're still considering the application, or if you just don't feel like you know enough about the award and you're still trying to figure out if you want to apply, this is a good video for you. I'm going to walk you through what the expectations are around applying to the award and give you some tips on what that experience is going to look like for this year. So we're going to get started. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so here you should see the CLBR's website. So what you're first going to do in identifying whether or not the Fulbright is right for you and how to apply is first go hover over our fellowships and awards page, search fellowships, which will conveniently bring you back to our search tool, and then go ahead and type in Fulbright in the award name section, and then you're going to click on our U.S. student program. This first page is going to give you an overview of the award cycle, including what the different types of awards are that are available for you through Fulbright, what the eligibility is, and what the selection criteria is for the award. And then if you keep scrolling down, you're going to see our applications procedure section, and that's where you want to click on internal application instructions. So here is going to give you again, a more detailed overview of what the dates are that you're going to want to keep in mind if you're applying to the Fulbright. So take note that we have now 2 internal deadlines. The first internal deadline is August 4th, and the second one is September 8th. So I want to note here that for a lot of our national fellowships, we set an internal deadline. So it's a 2-step process generally, where there will be an internal application that you will design. And that application is then submitted to our Fellowships and Awards Committee. And then students are nominated for certain fellowships. And those that are nominated then move on to the external deadline, which you'll notice here is October 12th. So for the Fulbright, everyone gets nominated so long as everybody completes the requirements of the internal application. So the Fellowships and Awards Committee is not vetting anyone out for the Fulbright. Typically every year we have somewhere between 20 to 25 students getting nominated for this award. So as long as you follow all the directions that we lay out for you here, you will get nominated. And we've broken it down according to the internal deadline. So you'll notice here that by August 4th, your internal application must include that you have first gone into the Fulbright's online application system, which I will go over in a little bit. And then once you're in the online application system, you will be required to designate Reed College as your institution. And then you will also be required to have chosen a host country and award type, which I also will go over in a little bit. And then by August 4th, we are requiring that you upload a draft, keyword draft, of your statement of grant purpose and personal statement. And then you will also have to register 3 recommenders, and if the country requires it, a foreign language evaluator in the online system. You do not have to have your letters of recommendation submitted by this point. You will just have to have registered the folks who are writing for you in the system. And then you'll have to upload a transcript, which you can get a free transcript through CLBR, and I can show you in a little bit where to find that. And you don't click submit at this point. So you are just uploading the materials into the system. Reed can see your materials on the back end of the system, which is why it's crucial that you designate Reed College as your school. And it's also at this point, I want to take a pause and mention that you want to reach out to your recommenders soon. Especially because we are asking that you register them in August during the summer break. Now is a good time to start initiating conversations with your recommenders about your interest in Fulbright, why you want to go, what you're hoping to get out of it. So you can really prompt them ahead of time that they will be required to write for you later in the summer, early fall. And then once you've completed these steps, we move on to the second internal deadline. And this is when we are going to expect that your application is really starting to shape up. So by September 8th, we are going to require that you have completed all steps from August 4th. If you've not completed all those required steps, you are not going to be eligible for an endorsement. And then by September 8th, you will also have been required to make an appointment with CLBR between the dates of August 4th and September 8th. So really what we're asking you here is that a requirement of the process is that you will have made an appointment with us after that first internal deadline. So we have a chance to review your applications with you and that we are able to support you in this process. And so you will be required to make an appointment with CLBR between August 4th and September 8th. And then you will be required to complete the entire application, which includes a current transcript. You will have had to register your recommenders. And then by the 8th, we will require a final draft of your recommenders letter of rec in the online system. So that's also why, again, it's really important that you start initiating these conversations with them, knowing that their final letter is due by September 8th. And then you will, by this deadline, click submit. But you don't need to worry. We are going to unsubmit your application back to you at a later date, so you can continue to make revisions to your application for the final deadline, which is in October. But for this internal deadline, you will click submit. You will get your application back later. And then this really is going to outline some additional information for you that you'll want to keep in mind. It gives you some guidance on obtaining strong recommenders. And then it also kind of breaks down information according to the types of awards. So you have information according to the English Teaching Assistantship and according to the Study Research Award. So take some time to familiarize yourself with this page. And then additionally, I wanted to point out, as a promise, how to get a free transcript for fellowships. So when you are, again, hovering over the fellowships page, go ahead and just click on it. And then check out our resources. And then requesting a transcript. And this link will take you to the form you have to complete and submit. And it will go over the directions on how to get a free transcript. The second part of this video is going to outline, that's my LinkedIn. It's going to outline just navigating the Fulbright website. So we've already talked a little bit about the application requirements. And I want to make sure that you're able to first find the online application itself. So when you're on the Fulbright website, the applicants tab is going to be your best friend. And you'll go ahead and click on Fulbright online application, which will then take you to the login page for you to either create an account or, if you're reapplying, log back in. Additionally, I wanted to provide you with some information. So the application components section is a really good resource, which further breaks down information about what each section of the application is going to include, what are the requirements for each section, what are the requirements for the essay. And so we're going to use the English Teaching Assistantship as an example here. So I mentioned that for the August 4th deadline, there will be requirements that you have a statement of grant purpose draft and personal statement draft included in that application. So here is the breakdown for what the statement of grant purpose is, which, as you can see, it is a one-page document that really outlines your qualifications. So this statement of grant purpose is much like a cover letter in outlining your preparedness to be an English teacher or English teaching assistant. And then also it expects you to describe some attributes you possess in being prepared to live in the country you're selecting, ideas you have for engaging students in the classroom. And then it has a further breakdown of exactly what the formatting requirements are. Whereas your personal statement is a one-page narrative that really outlines who you are, what your background is, how you have come to be in a place that applying to the Fulbright is a natural next step for you after graduation, or if you're an alumni, if it's a natural next step for you in your life right now. So really take some time to familiarize yourself with the application components tab. There's also additional short answer essays that you'll have to be prepared to write about. These are not required by the August 4th deadline, so keep that in mind that right now the priority is the statement of grant purpose and personal statement. If you're thinking, I have not even chosen a country, I don't even know what I'm going to apply to, I don't know what I want to do, that's totally fine. We have time to figure that out. So when thinking about a country, I always recommend students really consider the mission of the Fulbright. The purpose of the Fulbright is mutual exchange, mutual cultural exchange. So they really see the value in you going abroad and either doing research or being an English teaching assistant and being able to better understand a country's culture and bring that back to the US. And they understand the value of you sharing US culture with other countries. So you want to keep that in mind when you're selecting a country. Thinking about what countries do you have any academic experience in, what languages do you speak? Have you done any humanities or social science work around these countries? So really thinking about the country that you have the most intuitive connection with, that you have a strong reason for wanting to go to. And then the countries tab is here. And it'll give you the ability to search countries according to this map, or you can search according to region. We're going to use, for now, we're going to use Germany as an example. So you can see Germany has a relatively big program. They have quite a number of English teaching awards. So let's say I'm interested in going to Germany. I speak basic German, or at least I did when I was in college. And you really want to, now that we've gotten to a point where we identified a country and we identified a specific award in that country, you want to take some time to really read through the award profile. This is going to give you really important nuggets of information about the type of candidate they're looking for. Each country has a different number of awards that they offer. Some of them have different types and special awards that they offer. And then each country has a specific interest in the type of candidate that they would really like to have come to their country. So you really want to make sure you are reading this through to confirm whether or not you would be a strong fit for what the country is looking for in an English teaching assistant. A good place to start when you want to narrow down whether or not this would be a good fit is the candidate profile section, which outlines the type of person, including the level of teaching experience they want you to come in with, certain areas of academic study that they would have expected you to have. Sometimes it'll even talk a little bit about the type of teaching assistantship you would be doing. If they want somebody who has a focus in the arts, or they want somebody who has a focus in STEM. So starting with the candidate profile is a good first step. And then another great resource would be looking at the statistics page, which is at the very bottom of the website here. So let's say I'm torn between wanting to go to Germany or wanting to go to, let's say, with Germany there, or wanting to go to like Hungary. So you can select as many countries as you want. And then down here, you'll have little drop downs. And the statistics page is a really cool resource because it gives you 3 years worth of information on the total number of applicants versus the total number of available awards for the different awards that each country offers. So I'm interested in becoming an English teaching assistant, and I can look and see, okay, so every year I now know that Germany receives over 300 applications for somewhere between 130 and 140 awards. Whereas Hungary, being a little bit smaller of a program, has very few awards, somewhere between 1 and 4, for somewhere between 16 to 33 applicants. So though Germany is a bigger program and you're in a larger pool, you are statistically more likely to get it than you would be if you're applying to Hungary, which is a tiny program with a tinier pool, but you're all competing for 1 or sometimes 4 awards. And then there's also, like I mentioned, countries offer different types of awards. You'll notice that Hungary has a specific one there. And so that's another thing you want to kind of keep in the back of your head when you're thinking about the countries you're interested in and what you're wanting to do through the Fulbright. You can actually look and see if you're interested in these like more specific awards. You can look at, let's see here, types of awards. We're gonna click on that. And then, so the most common award types you're gonna see are the English teaching assistantships and the open study research, which gives you the opportunity to design a research project to fulfill in that country, or you can pursue graduate school in a country of your choosing. Whereas there are other like more special awards that you'll see here. But what I really want to look at, so if you click on the Fulbright Study Research Award link, it's going to give you a little bit of information about what those are. But then there's field specific awards. So if you're somebody who is, really interested in STEM, you actually can look at specific countries that are offering certain programs for certain types of study. So that's another great resource to keep in mind. Not all of the countries offer very specific awards. So you would want to take some time to review this and just make sure that there isn't anything here that's of interest to you. You can also look at this chart, which outlines whether a country offers open study research, which is just any research proposal from any area of interest you're welcome to submit for, versus the specific programs. So this is another great way to double check if there is a country of interest to you, what award is going to be the best type for your interests. And then final resource I want to show you before wrapping up this video is looking at our Grantee Directory. So taking time to see who else from Reed has obtained awards, and if there's anyone that's worth reaching out to that you would be interested in. So the Grantee Directory outlines all of our previous winners. I don't believe at this point it's provided data on our 2021, but you can look at 2020 and before. So we're going to type in Reed College and search. And you can see the search results from all of our previous winners starting from 2020 there. And this is a great way to double check, if you're looking at a certain country and you want to know more, or you want to know more information about what it was like for that student when they went to the UK or when they went to Germany, you are welcome to reach out to people. I encourage you to reach out to people. You can find contact information through IRIS's alumni directory or potentially through their LinkedIn, but reaching out to them to learn more about what their experience was like, what did they do that made their application strong. Those are definitely totally appropriate questions you can ask our previous winners. And finally, I want to direct you all to the CLBR's YouTube page, where we have recordings on Fulbright from our previous winners. And the Watson. And I encourage you all to take some time to just review a Q&A we did with Joel and Tim's, a 2018 grad. And then we also did a Q&A with our most recent Fulbright recipient, Meredith. So that's another great resource for you to learn a little bit more about what the Fulbright was like from their perspective, what the application was like from their or the application process was like from their perspective. And then of course, feel welcome to make an appointment with CLBR. Thanks all.